What's up, Fort Knox? Welcome back to my channel. As you guys might have noticed, there was not a Real Housewives of Beverly Hills on this past week on Wednesday, but they won't be back until July, so they're in their mid-season hiatus. And there was a new Real Housewives of New York, so that's what we're here to talk about. And really, this episode 11 of season 12 is called Love Him and Leave Them. It's kind of Tinsley's farewell to the Real Housewives of New York. I cannot talk today. I'm sorry. It's been a while since I've done this. But the great thing is we already knew that Tinsley was leaving, and so let's just go ahead and get into it. But this was sort of her farewell, and it was kind of sweet. I loved it. But as predicted, there were some shenanigans leading up to it. So here we go. So let me just start by saying this. Ramona has an allure. She has something. There's something about Ramona. She does look younger, but she does have something. Well, she has those crazy ass Ramona eyes, but she also has somewhat of an allure. So men tend to love her. So we open with her at the butcher getting. See, this is the thing. You people who are really into dogs, she's getting chicken for her dogs at like a fancy butcher, and she's just like, oh, don't cut it up. Like, she likes when I cut it up. The dog does not care. The dog just wants to eat and probably doesn't even know the difference between the good stuff and the bad stuff. But anyway, the guy's flirting with her, so she's just like, oh, I'll be here often, whatever. Anyway, Luann and Sonia. So Luann is preparing for her new show, which is called Fuck, Marry, Kill, and she's invited Sonia back. If you recall, in past season, Sonia did some appearances with her on the show, and of course her dress fell off. So they're going through, interviewing comedians to be on the show, and Sonia says she's really happy for Luann and she's really excited for her. But then she shades her also, and she's just like, I don't get paid to do this. I'm pretty sure she got paid a little something. But apparently Luann is cheap. She's just like, no, I didn't get paid for it. It's not. It's basically she pays for my half of my hair and makeup. So I just do my own hair and makeup and take the money from that. It's just basically, how people hire their friends and feel like they can, they can cheat their friends out. So that's pretty much what Luann does. But she says that Luann is not very funny. I think Luann's a good storyteller, and maybe she's not that funny. She's not as funny as Sonia. Let's just give Sonia that. But, I mean, you're supposed to be supportive, and you're really just shading her. It's just like, she's not really that funny. She doesn't really pay me. But I'm happy for her success. Oh, I'm really happy. It's really funny. So then we cut to Tinsley is talking to Leah on the phone, and she reveals that she's been in Chicago with Scott, and everything's going great. And, she's just excited to be back with him, and, she's always loved him, so that's no secret, and she's always wanted to work out, and we did talk about that on the previous episode. And then Leah says that Dorinda's having a meetup at this haunted house, which is called Blood Manor, and it's like an institution in New York. And she said, invite Tinsley to, Dorinda told Leah to invite Tinsley, which is kind of funny because aren't you and Tinsley friends? And you didn't feel comfortable. She's like, if she wants to come, let her come. I'm like, what is your hang up with this girl? But I mean, apparently this is going to come to an end because Tinsley's leaving. So they get to Blood Manor, and there's this crazy clown and this crazy zombie. Well, all zombies are crazy. Anyway, jumping out, scaring everyone. No, absolutely not. That would not be happening. This is why I just don't do haunted houses. I don't do things like that. It's not because I think they're scary. It's just sort of like, they do jump out and startle you and scare you, but like me, I'm not a fighter, but you do that to me and I don't see it coming, I'm gonna be ready to punch you. Like, I don't do this. I don't get a thrill out of this. I don't find this alluring or exciting or anything like that. So, it's really, the girls are all scared and almost shit their pants. It's ridiculous. So they go into the haunted house, and there's really nothing to report here. They're just scared and geriatric. Some of them feel like they're about to piss on themselves and need their Depends or whatever. This is according to them. I'm not age shaming anybody. This is all what they said. But they're like freaking out and scared. Didn't you know that's what you were coming for? This is why I don't do this. So then they decide to go to dinner, and this is where all the mess starts. They go to dinner, and while Tinsley and Leah are in the restroom, they, feel some type of way about the fact that Tinsley has posted on social media that she's back with Scott, but she hasn't told them about it. As if she owes you that. Like, as far as I'm concerned, they are not really friends. They're friends on the show, but they're not really friends in that way. They are coworkers at best. And you don't tell your coworkers every single thing, even though you're on a show about sharing your life. It just really doesn't make a lot of sense that they're so bothered by the fact that she put it on social media and hasn't told them yet. But she was going to announce it to them anyway, so that was the point of this. But she can post on social media if she wants to. It's her prerogative. They're way too hard on her. They just can't believe that she's back with Scott. She hasn't told us and all this stuff. It's just an ongoing thing with what I thought was just Dorinda, but apparently the rest of them are bothered by it too now. So, but Leah is only having one drink. She's like, I don't want to scare anybody. She tells Ramona, I don't want to scare, I'm going to only have one drink. And I think that's a good, safe bet because, if it's going to bring out your crazy that already exists, let's not, scare everybody. And they give a toast to Tinsley and Scott that they are back together. And Tinsley says that she is, she's really happy. She's going to be moving to Chicago at some point. And this is it. This is, she feels like this is definitely like the move. Like they're definitely together now. And they're, this time it's going to work out. Which is funny because on the last episode we saw that she was just like, I'm just scared that it's not going to work out and it's whatever. But apparently something happened while she was in Chicago, and I guess through time. We don't know how much time has passed between these two episodes, but she feels that now it's going to work out. But here comes Dorinda with all her BS. It's just like, you just can't give this girl a break. It's ridiculous. And then what's crazy is not only does Dorinda have her BS with Tinsley, she bullies everyone else. And Dorinda's just a bully. I love Dorinda, but she is a bully. She bullies everyone else into agreeing with her and basically shading Tinsley and saying oh, don't talk to her, whatever, or don't, feed into this whole thing. Let's just ignore her. And she's like, oh, great. You finally get to check out the hotel. Little subtle things like that. She'll drop a little. You finally get to check out the hotel. But anyway, so I'm having this thing at the Berkshires. We're going on this time, blah, blah, blah. And the girls engage with her. And Tinsley's like, for some reason, you always want to bring up my relationship. You always want to talk about it until I'm happy. And this is an absolute truth. She only wants to talk about it as long as Tinsley's not happy. She wants to shade Tinsley. She wants to say, oh, I know you're back with him. I know you're sneaking around with him. And if you don't tell the girls, I'm going to tell them too. I'm going to tell them for you. And, Tinsley is just like, oh, now she doesn't want to talk about it. So here comes Sonia, Ramona, and Luann. They all join in this bandwagon. They are going to ignore her. And now there's two conversations going on at the table, and they're all sitting right beside each other. This has to be really awkward because Leah and Tinsley are having a little slight conversation but the four of them, Sonia, Ramona, and Luann and Dorinda are all having a conversation right beside this girl, and they're not really whispering, and they're saying stuff here, just really shading her, and it's like the girl's sitting right there. They have absolutely no respect for this girl. I don't know if it's just because she's young or because she believes in fairy tales or what it is, but they have absolutely no respect for her. And Elise is just kind of there, typical Elise. But so what happens is Ramona is basically a coward. She's just like, Dorinda told me not to talk to her, so I'm just not going to talk to her. What? What kind of sense does that make? You are a 60-something-year-old woman. You should be able to do whatever you want to do. You're just bullied by Dorinda. And I know Dorinda has a strong presence, but it doesn't make any sense. So here comes Dorinda. She's like, Tens, you're going to love Chicago. Because Luann says to her, I'm happy for you, whatever, if this, but Luann warns her, get that ring. She's like, Tinsley, you're going to love Chicago. And Tinsley's like, I already love Chicago. She's just like, she finally stands up to Dorinda, and I'm really happy that Tinsley finally does this. But Dorinda is just evil. She really is. She just gets evil at this time. she says, she makes a comment like, oh, if you want to get a turkey baster, then whatever, you finally get to check out. And she's like, and Tinsley's like, oh yeah. Like basically, I'm like, thank you. Stand up to her. Instead of leaving in tears, stand up to her and shade her and be sarcastic along with her. That's the only way this woman's ever going to give you a little bit of respect. So that works out. That tracks. It's good. But this whole comment about like, if you want a turkey baster, ridiculous. She knows Tinsley has frozen eggs and like or embryos or whatever, well, eggs. So like, why would you even do that? So this I'm going to touch on just a little bit because we cut to another scene where Sonia's talking to Century 21. There's really nothing to report here, but I think it's really interesting to me that Sonia, like if you guys, I've said this before in previous videos, and this is not even shade, this is really just fact. Her brand is basically one of those things where you go in New York and you put your name, your label, these clothes are already made. It's the same kind of things that you buy on these Instagram boutiques. And it's like, you put your label in and you basically say Sonia, but this stuff was not designed by Sonia. But oh my God, this big meeting with Century 21 because they want to sell higher end brands for less. Girl, have several seats with this. This is totally ridiculous. But they're going to sell the Sonia Morgan brand in there, and that's pretty much it. The Sonia Morgan collection is not really the Sonia Morgan collection, but whatever. They are cute clothes, but it's the same stuff that you guys buy on these Instagram boutiques. So don't even give me that whole thing. Tell me in the comments what you think about the Sonia Morgan collection. Would you wear it, and do you think it's authentic? So Ramona, we cut to a scene where Ramona tricks, this is the best. Ramona tricks Sonia and Dorinda into going to Long Island to a warehouse that she's meeting with some famous Larry, I don't know, whoever. Apparently he's well known. I don't know. I never heard of him. He's an event planner. He's famous. He does everybody's parties in New York and everywhere. And it's for her birthday celebration. And she explains that I got to make up for last year because, I didn't invite my girls. You did not, you disinvited your girls. And then we flash back to that scene, which is the most hilarious scene. They're like, oh, we can make room for Sonia, like the other Ramona's fake friends, her socialite friends. I won't say fake friends, but her socialite friends that she wants to be so a part of. They're like, we can make room for Sonia. And she's like, no. It's like right on camera. I would be so mad with her if I were them. And I don't think they even gave her enough grief as far as I can remember, at the reunion last year. I don't remember. I have to go back and watch that. But they flash back and it's hilarious. She's like, my 60 girlfriends. Your 60 fake girlfriends. Who the hell has 60 girlfriends that you want to invite to? Like, come on. These are your socialite friends. Let's be real. But Ramona thinks that they're jealous of her because they don't have 60 girlfriends. You don't have 60 girlfriends either. And I promise you, these women probably just want a little bit of fame, because it's this thing with people who have a lot of money, but they don't have a lot of fame. And they want to be it's like if you have a lot of fame, but you don't, famous people are not always rich and rich people aren't always famous, but they both want the fame sometimes. It's really weird. Even if you have the money. So I feel like they might think, if we let Ramona in, then we might be on Real Housewives or whatever. And also she just looks desperate, so let's just let her in. But whatever. So they end up doing a promo. He's just like, will you post for our social media? And Dorinda's like, you got us all the way outside of New York in Long Island. You got us out of the city, doing, tasting, eating all the sugar and doing all this stuff. And we don't even want to be here. And now we have to do a promo. Well, guess what? Y'all are dumbasses for sitting there and doing it. Because I would have been like, I'm going to the car. Goodbye. But little thing to touch on, Leah and her ex have an amazing marriage. Great for them. It was really nothing to report. She's juicing. I'm juicing right now because I'm trying to lose some of that quarantine weight. But Ramona and Luann invite Tinsley to meet up because they feel bad. They want to show that they are supportive of her. They felt bad that they ignored her because of Dorinda. They finally get a backbone of their own. Of course, Dorinda is not there. But they take her out for drinks and they just, say, we really want to just let you know that we're happy for you and all this stuff. And, Tinsley's like, I'm moving immediately tomorrow. And, this is a big thing. This is huge. And she casually mentions that, he's building out a closet for me and he's building out the restroom for me and as a glam room. And I'm like, what? Let me tell you guys something. I'm right there with Ramona. If a guy builds space for you in his home, and if he does the Mr. Big Carrie. Remember in Sex and the City, the movie, where the first one, where Carrie, he was like, should we get you a ring and a diamond? She's like, no, just make me a big closet. It's not, it's symbolic, but it's also huge. I mean, obviously we want a big closet and whatever, but it's him making space for you, not only in his home, which symbolizes he's making space for you in his life. This is becoming a permanent thing. Guys don't just, if he gives you a drawer or a closet or something, but he's building out a whole room for a closet for her. This is better than getting a ring. Trust me. This is better. And ladies, drop down in the comments. Let me know what you think about this, because this is how I feel on the subject. I mean, if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, if a man builds out space in his house for you, this is almost bigger than get a ring. Of course, you want the ring too, I'm sure, but it says a lot, especially if you're just dating and you're not even engaged yet. But she reveals to them that she's not going to be coming to Halloween. That this is it. She's gone. Like, this is her farewell. I feel like they should have had a gone away party for her. Maybe they didn't. They just didn't show it. But whatever. But every guy, take note. Seriously, if you want to show a girl that you really are there for her, build out a closet for her. Make space. Maybe you can't build out a closet. Give her a drawer. Give her something. Let her leave a toothbrush, a hair dryer, whatever. Show her that. It means so much more. It speaks volumes. But then we cut to Tinsley packing up her home with Dale, her mother. And, Dale is sad because, she's leaving and she's so used to her being on the East Coast. And so Dale is crying, but, she's happy for Tinsley at the same time. She finally, this is real. It's finally happening. If I'd look different, all of a sudden the light just changed for no reason, because I'm using the natural light, but whatever. So they're packing up, and then, side note, speaking of rings and stuff, did you guys happen to catch Dale's ring, that big giant canary diamond? I don't know who Tinsley's dad is or who Dale is married to. I know she's a Mortimer, but my God, that ring is amazing. But Tinsley had married into Mortimer. So anyway, I don't know who Dale is, but I'll do some research on that. But it has been a roller coaster for her and Scott, but they finally got it on track. And Leah stops by, and, Dale just expressed to Sonia, because Sonia also stops by, how grateful she is that she took her daughter in, and that, Tinsley is, she's happy for Tinsley, but she's really thankful that, Sonia took her in and she lived in the townhouse with Sonia. And Leah just says, I always thought that Tinsley was crazy for wanting to be, the fairy tale instead of being the legend, but I get it. If this is what she wants, I'm happy for her. It seems to be working out for her, so this is absolutely great. And I'm really happy for Tinsley also, and it seems that it's working out. This is really good for her. And we had heard about this before, but it's really good to actually see this, and it seems very real and very genuine. And so it's basically like, goodbye Tinsley. It's an end of an era. She's, it's basically like they're giving her send-off on the show, which is normally something they would do at the end of the season. She doesn't even finish out the season. She's just like, I am gone. And it seems like she's really grown up in the last few years. She's getting what she wants, but she's basically, saying what I want and manifesting it, and that's great. And we find out that Scott did propose. So she got the ring and she got the closet. So there you go. Happy for you, Tinsley. Goodbye, Tinsley. Now we can get on with the rest of the shenanigans and all the craziness. And maybe Dorinda can wish you well and stop, messing around with you. And so let's see who Dorinda picks on now. Let's see who she gets into it with now. Let's see what happens with the rest of the group now. And, whenever it comes about, I don't know if it's next episode, or if we've got a few more in between. But that when we do have a new episode, I will be back with my take on the episode. Make sure that you subscribe so that you have all the notifications. Click the bell so that you know when I have new videos out on the channel about any of the Housewives shows or any of the new scoop that's going on in Bravo land and reality land and all that stuff. I love you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye.